We are from Group 2 in this program, ACP 2023. Okay. So, meet us. This is our team member. This is Akila from University Utara Malaysia. This is Jun from Kansai University of International Study, and this is me, Regan from Universitas Atmajaya Yogyakarta. Okay.
Therefore, we aim to flexibly respond to and prepare for disasters that may occur in the future. For example, large earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, super typhoons, which can occur at any time to the extent that human life is threatened, and we will strive to minimize their occupation. It is necessary to feel that we must not forget to support the victims. This is also our goal.
Okay, in the first activity, we got lecture, and this is what we learned from the speakers. Okay, so in the lecture 1, it's debris flood disaster and depleting river resource. So the debris flood commonly happen in Malaysia because of Malaysia's geographical location. Well, mass flood that occurs are a natural result of cyclical monsoons during the local tropical wet seasons, and the situations make some impact, like the river becomes smaller, or we can say it's depleted, like this picture. Okay, next. In the lecture 2, we get the climate change and flood mitigation. In Malaysia, climate change make rising sea levels and temperatures causing more floods. Other than that, we know that some people have their own way to mitigate the situation, like this picture. You can see this. The man makes his house float with 69 plastic barrels after getting tired of floods every year. So basically, the home of this man is like float when the flood comes, because they got their own way to mitigate the situation. And for the lecture 3, it's community-based disaster risk management. Well, it's basically about how to mapping a place around us. So the objective on this lecture is to know where is the place that considered as vulnerability or capacity. So we know how to save ourselves in case something bad happens.
So the next is field work that we go to Yan Kedah, also the Penang Hill and the habitats. So we are involved in Yan Kedah to make one of the victims of the debris flow happen in 2021 in Malaysia. Mr. Jazni is the one owner of the chalet business, live in Kampung Aceh. So we have done an interview about the disaster happening there in 2021, and also a site visit which affected area around the chalet. So the purpose of this field in Yan is to get better understanding of a debris flow, which is one of the type natural disaster that mostly happen in Malaysia. Also, this kind of disaster that happened in Yan is one of the biggest tragedy at there, because the community does not aware of the warning given by the nature, which is Zani said that the heavy raining continuously for like 5 days. We also asked Mr. Jazni if there are any alarms about the disaster would come, and his response to our question is there is no alarm built, but after the incident happened, they implemented an alarm system. That's a good way, but it's already happened. But it's okay how they mitigate it. We also gave our opinion about the importance of the alarms that would help the community. This is because we compare to Japanese system. They use alarm to give warning to the community, which will help to evacuate to safe areas. And the incident happened to Mr. Jazin's business, which 3 chalets near the river are affected, and still no progression in the renovation because of the insufficient balance. By this, we would create a connection by the community, and we would able to create a stable relationship for future plan, for example, community service program. And lastly, awareness to the community about how to mitigate each type of disaster. So let us watch some footage at Chalet Mr. Jasmine.
Video,
So you can see the river is, the water level is decreasing after the tragedy happened. Okay. After that, our second fieldwork is Penang Hill, which is the habitat. So at 18 March 2023, we visited Penang Hill and the habitat to get some more exposure to nature. We are surrounded by all the greens, and some nature voices come from different angles. Other than that, we learn to appreciate more natures by enjoying the nature walk around the site. We walk around the habitat is like 1 hour and 30 minutes while enjoying the nature. So when we are visiting at the habitat, the crew advised us to stay calm and observe the surrounding using the senses that we have. And by this, we can compare the situation at Penang Hill and the Yan itself is very different from the affected area of disaster, and the natural authenticity is maintained. That's what we got at the two places that we go.
Yeah.
The clue is focused on the pictures given.
You can open this too.
That's fine.
Watch collective and save life. The purpose is to give awareness about the types of disasters and how to mitigate as for early education. What I want the elementary school students to know is the polar or disasters. Disasters occur every year around the world, with major earthquakes occurring near Turkey and Syria. It's something no one could have imagined. Therefore, we not only learn about disasters, but also teach children how to protect themselves from them. So we created a game about disasters. It's boring to just teach them, so I decided to have them learn about the disasters in a fun way while playing games. Game contents. Number 1, we prepare 6 disaster cards and countermeasure cards. Number 2, we show the various content types of disasters. Number 3, ask the group to look at the cards once and discuss for 1 minute. Number 4, practice what you have discussed. Number 5, look at the disaster cards and decide which countermeasure cards to match. Number 6, completion response. As a result of teaching elementary school students, the elementary school students were working in a very fun atmosphere. I think I was able to convey the horror or disasters and how to deal with them. I was very happy because I was taught the countermeasures I learned in Japan.
Mountains you can get landslide.
Yes, very good. So, are you okay with this all the game?
Yeah.
You understand how? That is the awareness that we want to give you guys about the disasters and how to mitigate it. Okay? Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Alright, so we get a recap. So at first, on the lecture session, we get an understanding based on the expert explanation about things like debris flood, climate change, and community disaster risk management. And then we go into the field trip, we get an understanding based on real experience because we're visiting a location that got impacted by the debris flood, and we can know how the habitat can commercialize the nature but not harm it. And then for the application, we applied all of the knowledge in the last 6 days into the game, and hopefully we can raise awareness for kids about how to save themselves into several types of disaster in the game we make.
So as for the conclusion, also the impact of the program itself is from the lecture session, also fieldwork at Yan and Penang, also the game that we made is Watch, Connect and Save Life, is we learn while participating in this program is to be exposed to the natural disasters that exist in this world. The cause of this incident is also due to the lack of disclosure about the situation, which is quite worrying because the frequency of disaster event is increasing nowadays. Activities involving the exchange student from Indonesia and Japan, thank you for coming. Also the communities from Yan and Penang and the elementary school, International Elementary School UUM, are very effective in revealing about the type of disaster and ways to mitigate them. That's a very good programs. Thank you.
That's all from us, so thank you.
Okay, thank you, Group 2. Now let's have...
Tenga Hari, a very good day. I did all the lectures, sensei and friends. We are Group 5. This is us. For today's presentation, first is introduction of members. Second, knowledge from the speakers. Third, field trip expenses. Fourth, application of the game. And lastly, the conclusion. We from Group 5 consisting of 4 people, 2 from University of Malaysia, UUM, and 2 from Kansai University of International Studies, KIS. First, I'd like to introduce you to Becky. She is studying education, major in counseling. Second, her name is Steady. She is studying marketing. Third, her name is Lara. She is studying education. Lastly, my name is I, and I am studying education too. Next, this is the objective of this program: to discover and learn about climate change and practice of the disaster risk education issues. Next, I would like to pass the stage to Teddy.
Hi, konnichiwa minasan. A very good afternoon. So I would like to continue with section number 2, which is knowledge learned from speakers. So from the first lecture, which is entitled as Debris Flow Disaster and Depleting River Sources, I learned about the bioflux component, especially on the wetland, detention pond, ecoswale, bioretention, and so forth. As you can see, there's our Q&A session with the lecturer. For us, it's such a mind-opening topic as a management students. We are less exposed to this engineering stuff, especially focusing on SDG 6, which is clean water and sanitization. We also learned about debris flow, the mechanisms, the characteristics and effects of it. We also discovered that this phenomena is very deadly and can lead to property damage, loss of life, and morphological changes, like the one happened in Gunung Jerai very recently, Titi Hayun, Baling, Gurun, and Batu Hampar in Yan. Not to forget, we were also taught on Samudam, which was built at Titi Hayun. We went there and we see it with our own eyes. They built a Samudam after the disaster. So the use of the Samudam is it is used to store the sediments which runs down from the upstream to reduce the discharge downstream and to prevent overflowing debris flow. Lastly, we were also introduced to Mercy Malaysia, which is globally known as Malaysia Relief Society, which acts as a non-profit organization focusing on providing medical relief of risk reduction activities for vulnerable communities in crisis. Moving on to lecture 2. So for the second lecture, which is on climate change and flood mitigation, in this enlightening lecture, we learn about the leading factors, effects, and solutions in combating climate change. We were also exposed to flood mitigation measures, which is really important for all Malaysians, not only those living in Kelantan, Terengganu, Johor, KL, Shah Alam, but even to me, resident of Chamdun, because very recently we ourselves faced with flood from the Sintuk River, which of course due to climate change. Moving on to lecture 3, which is on community-based disaster risk management. In this motivating lecture, we learned about hazard mapping. We ourselves go and identify the vulnerability and capabilities of our area. Dr. Zulkarnain really opened our eyes on how important it is to have a safe disaster assembly point and being more prepared to face any disaster hazards ahead. These are the capabilities, means the helpful equipment, and we also have the vulnerabilities, which is the harmful equipment that will prevent us from assembling during disaster. As you can see, we did a stroll around our parking area, which is our hazard mapping site. Moving on to the next one.
Thank you, Terry, and hello everyone. So I'm Bakis. I will be presenting about our field trip experience in Yan Kedah. Our group was assigned to interview a single mother named Farida, and we call her as Magna. She is 75 years old this year and not working. Firstly, our main objective for this interview session are to know whether the flood back then into 2021 affected our respondent physically, economically, or psychologically, and also to know what is the respondent preparation to live at disaster area. From the interview itself, our findings are, first, Magna experienced lots of damage, especially property damage, such as furniture, especially. She has to survive alone because when we interviewed her, she said that her husband died 1 month ago, and she has no son or daughter, and it makes her very hard to live alone in the house. And from the interview, we were informed that Magna also suffered slightly trauma because of the flood. She said that the flood was her first time encounter it. Yeah, that is Sabodam. That was we went there, and I continue. Our correspondent, which is Magna, wanted to live in her house, even though her house is in vulnerable area. Where there is a river behind her house, and now, but now she is more prepared than before. Before this, she is unprepared. She only left her house without anything, and she just go out. In addition, from the findings, we also got to know that many NGOs and governments are willingly and readily help those people affected by the flood. There was a motorbike club in Guajapadat that helped Magna, our respondent, to clean her house after the flood happened. And besides, the community around her place, which is the villagers especially, are also very alert and take care of each other. There's no alarm sound, but the community make the alarm by themselves, like, go out, the water is rising, and that makes them alert about the flood. At the end of the interview session, she advised us that everyone needs to prepare early to reduce more damage than if any disaster happens. Put all documents at high places and easy to save. So these are some photos taken from, and as you can see here, I put the river is behind her house, and the respondent's house is just up there. The water is rising up, and when the flood happened, the water go inside her house. So next, this is Magna, our respondent in the middle. And next, I will pass to Terry.
Okay, so next, moving on to our Penang field trip. So we went to the Habitat Penang Hill, which provided us with the most authentic, diverse, and educational Malaysian rainforest experience to us. we had the chance to reconnect with nature in its purest form as we immerse ourselves in a 130 million year old rainforest. Starting at the forest floor, the naturalists took us on a journey along the nature trail to explore the myriad of flora and fauna, ranging from plants, trees, insects, birds, and reptiles. And also they call the habitat home. We were also able to explore the biodiversity of the rainforest canopy on a 230-meter Langerway canopy walk. We also visited the Curtis First Treetop Walk at the top of Penang Hill and embraced the 360-degree panoramic view of Penang Hill from the highest viewing point of Penang. Not to forget, we also shopped at the shop on the hill, which carries educational and ethically produced merchandise themed on all things nature and culture. Next, we wrapped up our trip at the Habitat Cafe with refreshments ranging from artisanal coffee and garment cakes. From the visit to the Habitat Penang Hill, the refreshing trip really highlighted to us that we must, by hook or by crook, try our best to preserve our beautiful Mother Nature. This is us during the trip down the hill. These are the exotic animals found during our journey. There are some murals over there. This is the expensive shop. Mostly they sell educational themes and also arts made by locals. And this is the view out from the Penang Hill viewpoint. And there's a lot of flora up there as well.
Hi, I'm Urara. I'll be presenting about the application of the game. We played a fraud prevention game at the international school. The game title is APC Shopping Center. The procedures of the game are: first, students have to answer quiz about flood mitigation measures. If you answer the quiz correctly, you will be answered pending your question. For example, during the quiz, we asked the student, what will you bring if flood occurs? And what is flood? Next, shop for necessary items needed during flood with the money. Finally, we explain the purpose of the game and educate more about the flood. Here are some photos of our game activity at UUMIS. We created the game with 3 objectives. The first is to coach the kids on flood mitigation measures. Second is to expose them on the factors, dangers, and effects of flood. Third is to educate them on things they need to prepare and buy to survive flood. Here is a video of our session with the kids. From the video, we can see that the children will together and learn the important things from this game. The children cooperate with each other and have fun. We also strongly highlight the importance of protecting one's life. At the end of the class, most students said that they learn a lot and more prepared now to face natural disaster, especially flood.
Okay, for the conclusion, I just make it short and sweet. These are the 3 most important that we from Group 5 want to highlight, that what we have got from this ACP program as a whole. First and foremost, we have to protect and love our Mother Nature, which is our Earth. Because if we do something that can harm our Earth, it can affect it for a long time. And nowadays, climate change and other global issues are very frustrating. And we, especially the younger generation, have to be aware and to take possible action to save the earth, starting from this right now. Not just that, from this ACP program as well, we can conclude that all of us have to learn about teamwork. Even though we have language barriers such as Japanese, Malaysian, Indonesian, but it does not a big challenge for us because sometimes we can Google Translate and use our facial expression, body language, and nonverbal communication to at least to understand each other and contribute well in group. So many memorable memories that we made here, and I also I hope that really this relationship between all of the countries, Malaysia, Japan, Indonesia, and other countries as well, we can last forever. The other third important thing is I want to highlight about the education, that we have to educate younger generations, because we learn something from this program, and we have to be the transfer agents towards our future generation. We teach them, we educate them about what we have learned, about what we have got from the program. And we also got to improve our social and professional skills as a future leader. I think that's all from us. Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu. Terima kasih.
Arigatou.
Okay, thank you, Group 5, for your very interesting and colorful presentation. Now you come to the session where we will give awards to the best two groups. Silakan Tuan Regan, Jun Matsuba, and Nurul Akila binti Mat Akhir from Group 2.
Congratulations. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Okay.
This is
Akila. Congratulations, Group 2. Well done. Okay. Please stay for a group photo. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And then for the group that won second place, let's welcome Group 5. Miss Ai Sakurai, Miss Urara Takaoka, Miss Umi Atira, and Miss Alika Bakis. I think that side. You guys go to that side.
How is this?
Oh, okay.
How is this? Congratulations. Okay. 次がハスマルさん。はい。 Congratulations. おめでとう。はい。はい。OK。あ、これお菓子。はいはいはい。桜井。はいはいはいはい。おめでとうございます。はいはい。それでは。これはい。はいはい。はい。はいどうも。はい。ほら。はいはい。はい。はい。はいはいはいはい。はい。おめでとう。
Okay, can we have group 5 take photo with the president?
Okay. はい。
Thank you, Professor Amana. Right. Well done to all students for working hard on your presentations and for participating in the program. We will now adjourn for our break, but before that, I would like to ask all participants